We have teacher pay at I believe it's 46th in the country. Only 4 states pay less than we do for the most important job that we have in the state, which is education of our kids. That can't continue. We haven't had, effectively, other than a 1.2% raise last year, a salary raise in 5 years now for teachers. We are losing teachers to other career fields now that other jobs are opening. We're certainly losing them to other states, to the federal government. And you put that on top of things like the A to F and the demoralizing kinds of silly reform that's out there that seeks to punish as opposed to improve. And you have a demoralized set of teachers, I think, on top of which being unpaid. And I think it is very seriously hurting the profession and hurting our capacity to have a globally competitive education for our kids. So if we're going to do what we need to do, the most important reform we could do is actually pay our teachers a professional wage. And this seeks to do that over a series of time, knowing we can't do it in 1 year, but it seeks a 3% increase this year, 3% increase next year, and a commitment by the 2019 school year to reach the national average. And frankly, if we have any political will at all in this body, that is an easy goal we ought to be able to agree on in a bipartisan way and reach.
You mentioned the A-DEF grading system and the demoralization of teachers. What do you make of, I don't know how else to put it, but the sort of the attacks on teachers that seem to come almost every day in the current political climate? And what does that mean for our students?
Well, it certainly doesn't mean a better education for them or a better economic development or progress for our country. And none of us has a career without the teachers who gave us the basic education to get there. And to recognize, I think, that, there's always got to be improvements. For many years, there were critics of public schools who always sought to improve the public schools. Now, too many of the critics seek to abandon and to eviscerate the public schools. And to suggest that you think that by putting a letter grade of A to F on a school that you've made that school reform is just complete nonsense. It is punitive. I would love to know any parent that wants their kid to go to a C, D, or F school, or a teacher who wants to teach there, or a student who wants to be there. And so what have you accomplished? Resources are crucial for public education, and so is reform, but reform in a good way. Reform by improving professional development opportunities. Reform by extending the school day. Reform by giving every kid a quality early childhood education. And reform by paying your teachers the best and making sure the best and brightest go in the field. You want to get the best systems. Well, that seems to me to be what most of the countries around the world who are succeeding are doing, and they're all doing those same kinds of things, and we're not.